So if you've ever tried making contraptions in Will You Snail, you may have noticed that there's no way to copy wires. As you can see, I have some wires going between a bunch of objects, but when I right-click with the copy tool, which by the way, if you don't know where it is right here, and try to paste it, as you can see, the wires aren't transferred over. So normally I have to manually copy all of these wires. And also, if I try to copy this trigger, it also doesn't copy. Well, today I'm going to show you how to fix all of that with Shellworks, a mod that I have been working on for over a year now, including an old version that had a different name. Not only does this mod add copyable wires, but it also adds a bunch of other really useful things, as well as cheats like no-clip, which can be useful if you're testing a level or something like that. It also has character customization, among other customization things, and it's really useful for a lot of things. And the best part is, it's really easy to install. Today, I'll be showing you how to do that. So anyways, what you want to do is you want to open up your browser of choice, and you want to go to itch.io. Next, you want to search for Shellworks. Here we have it right here, Shellworks. Shellworks is a mod that adds quality of life features, cheats, customization, and more to Will You Snail and its editor, all through an intuitive mod menu overlay. It's kind of like Geometry Dash Mega Hack, but for Will You Snail. We have a bunch of features here. A text box to enter any value you want for any object property in the editor, even outside the normal range. An inspector tool that lets you edit object properties and their position, scale, and rotation after their place. The ability to copy wires with the copy tool, and that's what we want to do today. Character customization, change the color of your snail. Soundtrack player, listen to songs in the OST, including cut, unofficial, and scrap songs, as well as the Snail Axe theme. Extra exploration mode unlocks all levels, including secret ones, as well as optionally dialogue springs, and much more. Today I'm going to show you how to use the installer method. If you're not a fan of the installer method, you are welcome to manually install the thing on the GitHub. I'll leave a link to the GitHub in the description, and basically there's instructions right here. You can manually install it if you want, just by directly placing the files. But today I'm going to be showing you how to use the installer, which makes things a lot easier. So what you want to do is you want to click the download button right here, and you can download this to wherever you want. And then you want to unzip that zip file. So right click and press extract all if you don't know yet. Now it should have a folder called Shellworks Installer. You can open this and click shellworksinstaller.exe. This is something that appears for literally any new program you launch, so don't worry about it. It's not a virus, it's just what happens whenever you run any new Windows program, because Windows doesn't trust anyone for some reason. So first things first, you want to install the .NET 6 runtime. So right here, you want to go to the link right there and install it wherever it is. So in this case, you'd want to do, I believe, .NET runtime right here. You want to select your OS and architecture of choice. So in this case, it's x64 for Windows. And normally I download it and run whatever installer downloads, but I actually already have it installed. So you can go ahead and run this and do the installation process, but it doesn't really matter that much for me. Next, we can actually install Shellworks itself. As you can see, it already detected the location of the Will You Snail folder in this little text box, but if it somehow detected the wrong location, or you have Will You Snail installed in a separate place than where it would normally be in Steam, you can first try clicking the auto detect button if it is installed with Steam and it has something different. Secondly, you can click select and go to the folder that Will You Snail is in, and in this case, you don't want to select the folder. You actually want to select willyousnail.exe. Now you can click install, and it will take a minute. Depending on how slow your internet is, this may take a while. In fact, it may start not responding, but just ignore that. It should work at some point. So now Shellworks should be successfully installed. Now we can start the game and we should be able to see Shellworks. So it's reading the data.win, now it's doing all this stuff, and this is basically just it installing the mod. This is going to run every time because it installs the mod every time and then runs temporarily the mod. So that also means if you uninstall it, then it won't be permanently applied, so that's good. And as you can see, we now have a little menu here that says, Welcome to Shellworks. By default, you can press F4 to enter the Shellworks menu. The menu open key can be changed in the vanilla menu like any other keybind. We click OK there, press F4. All of these will be on top of each other. I really don't know how to fix that. That's just how the library that I'm using for this UI works for some reason. But as you can see, yeah, we have a bunch of menus here. We can move these around, shuffle these around, you know, usual stuff. And there is a bunch of things you can do here, but we'll go ahead and show you the copyable wires first and foremost. So we now have this little contraption here, which is different from the original one we have because I forgot to save it. And now we'll try to copy it. So we can right click and you'll see that we have these wires appearing over the preview. That's good. Now if you rotate it, it won't update the thing. I still need to apply that, but I think it should still work. Yeah, it still works. But yeah, you can place these wires, and now the wires are still connected, which is pretty awesome. I really don't know why they haven't added this to the vanilla game yet, because it was pretty easy to implement. But you know, and now you may also notice that you still can't copy the triggers, but what you can do is press F4 and go to the editor menu and click all objects copyable. And now you should be able to copy it just fine. You can also do a bunch of other things. For example, if you press O in the editor, you'll see a bunch of hotkeys you can use. The most useful is you can hold X to delete all objects types like you're holding the delete tool. So as you can see, that didn't work. As you can see, I hold X. I'm holding the wall, but I'm deleting like I have the delete tool. We also have a bunch of other stuff. For example, we can change the color of the snail. So if I want to make, first I got to click this checkbox, because if the checkbox is off, then it just does the default. So we'll change the color of the snail. We'll make it green. Why not? We can apply the colors, and as you can see over here, the snail is now green and red. It's a bit bright, and that's because for some reason the way the colors are coded in the game, sometimes you have to make them darker than you would normally want them to be when you actually see them. That's still a bit too bright, but you get the point.